Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei Extras. Today we're going to be talking about Ace Race and MCC. Now I don't know what I've titled this video at this point, but if it's something like The Problem with Ace Race or Ace Race Needs to be Fixed, let me first state Ace Race isn't bad at all. Ace Race is actually really good. I think it's very iconic in MCC. However, I do think it has a few very tiny flaws that I think could be fixed. I think MCC probably has the resources to do it, and I think thematically it would fit. I think if anyone's curious, compared to Race from Block Wars, I think Ace Race is miles better. However, that is also because it is obviously a bit more refined. It has gotten more time and more playtime to have been able to tweak things. I think Race could get there. It just needs a little bit more time. Also, Ace Race does have, some customization that is really nice. Race can't really do that because then people would say it's a clone, even though some elements of gameplay are just from vanilla Minecraft, and turning it on and off isn't really something you could claim, but whatever. Either way, so let's get started. First, I wanted to mention Owen. I'm pretty sure Owen left the Knockcrew. No, that's not here. Oh, here it is. It's the he's leaving as the videographer for the Knockcrew and for MCC and focusing on other projects. So, in case none of you knew that yet, there you go. I hope that this could maybe open the door for Owen getting into MCC, because I think he would fit really well. I think he's a really cool guy. I think his personality fits the brand of MCC as a player. However, I don't know if in the contract for the Knockcrew it states that being in the Knockcrew at any point in time completely disqualifies you from getting picked. I hope not. From what I've heard and from what I know, Owen hasn't played many tests, if any. I think he's played one as like an introductory test, or maybe not even. I don't want to spread misinformation. Obviously, he's attended a few one test basically per cycle, because that's how recording works in testing. They do a specific test for recording, which is usually like a day or two before. So hopefully he can play. Funnily enough, that I mentioned this during the Ace Race video, because obviously he was a big Ace Race fan in MCC Rising, and he also had the pride moment, which I think is not that bad. Either way, so let's talk about Ace Race. Ace Race has had 5 maps, 3 maps before the rework and 2 after the rework. I'll go through them. I have a VOD or some clip from every single one. I will not be playing them. Here we see the lovely Technoblade. This is Clouds. This is the Halloween version of Clouds. Hopefully you recognize it. This is the classic, iconic first map. Some people say it's the best. Some people say it's the worst. I haven't really seen that many people say it's either in the middle or something in that ballpark, but I think it's okay. I personally think it's somewhere in the middle. Very iconic one. Very good map, because over time people kept discovering skips which made the gameplay different over time. So that was good. No clue how long this map took to make, but it was a really good map and it had a good lifespan. Next up, Python script. There actually isn't, I couldn't find an easy, quick VOD for this. Either way, Python script, it's the one with the snake. Also, this is one of my favorite ones, maybe even my favorite one. I've only played ever the first 3 ones. This was my favorite. I don't really know why, but I liked it. So, yeah. This one's good too. I don't really know if there's been many skips discovered over time. I know Martin discovered a skip, I'm pretty sure, near the end, or Pete, which was in the water section. You go straight forward. I think this map also has decent replayability. Obviously, these first 3 maps would have to be reworked to fit the new Ace Race style and new mechanics. I think it could be worth trying, maybe. I think this is a good map. Next up, Space Race. This happens to be the reverse one, but you'll understand the map. This one was very, I know this one was a pain in the butt to make. I've been told that this one was not fun to make. As you can see, it is very large. It has a lot of detail, and it took a lot of time to make. It also ended up not being very much enjoyed, which is, well, okay, I should not say that. People did enjoy it, but compared to the other two, I think this might have been the least favorite, or one of the least favorites. It was very unclear on first play where to go. I happened to also have a bra moment, not like the Filza moment, but in the Elytra section. Like when you first get launched, when you oh god, where is this? I think it's the first Elytra. It might be the first one. Either way, you go like through the inside of the building, through a hole, and then you enter the main hall again. Before you enter the main hall, in the first ever test we did, everyone went down to just stand there because we didn't know what to do. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, I think this map is probably my least favorite from the first three. But let's continue. Turtle Run. Turtle Run, I think, very cool map. However, I think the new Ace Race format has a problem where there is not much replayability, which means that like there's not many different paths to take to make things slightly more optimized. That happens when you make a game have more loops of the same gameplay, because this has 4 laps instead of previously having 3 laps, which means everyone runs through the course once more than usual per event. This also is a bit more safe. It's more friendly for newer players because things are a bit easier, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think it does bring some issues with it. Same with Yeti Set Go. Though this has only been played once, I'm pretty sure. I do think this map will suffer the same issues, but we'll see. I don't know if it'll be the first map back. I assume they'll maybe make another Ace Race map, or maybe not. But we'll see. Turtle Run, I think, was cool. Like I said, when it first got launched, I was like, oh, this is dope. This is sick. Like, this looks awesome. Over time, I did get tired of it. Watching it, obviously. Yeti Set Go, honestly, on my first time watching, I didn't really like it already off the bat. This is probably, yeah, the map that I liked least when I first saw it, and I mean that with no like negative intent. It's just my personal opinion. I just think it, like, okay, so the reason why I say that is because I had hopes for this map to have an ice boat section, because I thought that would be sick. I don't know if that's even possible. Probably not, because obviously I think boats can't be modified without mods. Like, they can't be, the plugins can't fix them. So I completely understand that it's not possible, but it would have been so sick. It would have been so sick to have an ice boat section. You could have maybe made people like invisible in whatever, in a certain path of the map. I'm not sure if that's possible. I do understand why they didn't do it. I really hope they did, also because I really like ice boats. But yeah, I think this is okay. I don't think it's bad. I think it's okay. If I have to give everything a number, I'm just gonna go off first instinct. I give this one like a 7.5, maybe an 8. This one to me is like a 9. This one to me is like a 6.5. This one to me is like a 7, maybe. Then I know I did say that this one got boring really quickly, but I also think it's still a pretty good map. So this is a 7. I think it's better than Space Race. Yeti Set Go, I'm going to give a 5.5 for now, which is just about enough, because I haven't really seen much of it, so I don't know. Either way, here's my whiteboard that I made. There's a line here. Either way, so this is to give a bit of an example of how I would do things in racing games, right? So let's say you have a section. Here, we'll make a square. Let's say you have a section. You enter from like here, and you have a path that goes like this, and you have a path that goes like this, or maybe it uses more space. However, each event, one of them is blocked off, and it swaps between them. Now, this would mean that you still have the same decorative space, except you make an extra path. This would mean that you have a little bit more extra work while making the map, or maybe not, because I think usually you would have both paths regardless. You could even make a third path that goes like this, and then you like have two open at a time at random, just to make sure that people don't all go in the same direction. You could like turn one off each event at random. Don't tell people in advance which one's turned off. This means people can't sweat and study the map just to have like perfect angles everywhere. It means that they can, have a path here that works well, have a path here. Let's say, to make this fair, let's see, this one's the quickest, slowest, in the middle. Say that it's like the exit is like here. So this is in, and this is out. Okay, yeah, path, and it goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, now it's a bit unfair, but you get my point. Let's say they're all like somewhat the same, and then it gets turned off and turned on. That's my solution number one. Make sure that there's different paths within the map that get turned off. Similar maybe to like Parkour Warrior now. However, not, because in Parkour Warrior they don't turn off the paths, but they just present alternatives. Maybe if a Parkour Warrior hypothetically had paths that went to the right and to the left, at this end forward at the same time, hypothetically you turn one side off per like square. Either way, you get my point, right? And it's at random, or like it's determined by some wacky code that like does set a number. It's not completely random, but the players will never figure it out. So that's solution one that I have. Solution two. Now I haven't thought of this, so I'm gonna have to make this up on the spot. 1 second. All right, I'm back. I figured out an idea that is probably a little too extreme, but maybe possible. That is to take the SOT approach, which is basically make sections that have different attachment points. So here, let's make another grid, but this time we have 4 sections. So let's say you have a path that has like an entry point here, an entry point here, and you have like a route that goes like, whoa, there's like a big boulder here, big boulder here, big boulder here. See, that's one. So you have this entry point. Now you have maybe an alternative version of this that has like an entry point like here and here, and you go whoa, and there's a mountain here, mountain here, mountain here, mountain here. You got my point, right? So you have alternative sections that you build, and then you kind of paste them together, and then to make sure that the map actually functions, you either have parts of the map that never change. So let's say these are all the alternative ones. You have, I'll draw a circle, which is probably not ideal, but just to give an idea. So you have part of the map that would always have a connection point here, always have a connection point here. So you could do 1 to 1 and 2 to 2, and you connect them like that. You have, there's more alternative routes you could make. Let's say you have a connection point here, you have a connection point that goes like up some stairs, that goes woo, and you have a connection point that goes here. There you go. I drew that wrong, but whatever, you get my point. Mountain, waterfall. I don't know. So you have that connection point here. That could either be flipped and attached here, or this could be flipped and attached there, or you have another entrance point here at the top, or rather here, not there. So this could be 3, and then you have 3, and then you go whoa, and you could make a map that has the option to go backwards. So let's say you have this one, right? You could whoops. Let's say this is all like somewhat flat, or like it elevates at a certain part and goes down, or like how am I gonna explain this? So let's say at this point, this little X over here. Let's say, why does my cursor not get recorded? Either way, let's say at that point, there's a jump pad that goes up to an elevated point, like right there. So there's a jump pad. So if you come from 2, you go that way. There's a jump pad to an elevated part. Maybe this slowly goes down like a slope, or maybe this goes up like a slope. And then if you go, so this is if you go from here. Now if you go from here, this, instead of being a jump pad down here, would maybe be a deactivated jump pad, or maybe this would be like there would be a jump pad here or something there that you like drop down, or maybe you just shut down the jump pad. I don't know. You could repurpose the same room 2 times by making it the exact same design, but you approach it from the other side. Now, if you have blocks that get pasted into the map, like in SOT, for example, you could, if you could switch things off, which I assume shouldn't be too hard. I feel like you could probably even change just the blocks that are used in the code, or rather, let's say you use diamonds as here, whatever, you get my point. Diamond, this is one jump pad, and then the other jump pad, which looks the same shape, but it's just a different texture. This is emerald. You just swap them out, and it looks like grayed out, and this one's the regular one. I hope that makes sense. I am coming up with this on the spot, so I don't know if this is going to help at all. I assume this is probably something they've thought of before, but this is how I would solve Ace Race, or at least to some extent. How do I clear it? Can I clear the whiteboard? No? I don't know. Either way. Yeah, so to summarize, I think Ace Race is a good game. However, it has one major flaw, which is replayability. This is also the case in other racing games, most aside from Mario Kart, but that is because they have power-ups which alter the gameplay. However, if you play with someone who studied Mario Kart over and over and over, it does get to the same situation. This is just a problem that you have in a competitive setting, where racing games get studied, and within probably 2 plays or 3 plays or 3 runs of the map, or 3 events where the map is played, the map is already quote-unquote overplayed or bad because it's studyable, easy, whatever. So this is my solution. Now, would this solve the problem entirely? No, but this would make your lifespan of a map probably 2 or 3 events longer, just because there are sections in a map that get changed, so you can't study the map entirely, especially if the sections don't always all appear each event, because if the sections just randomly get pasted but they're always the same sections, you can just study the sections. Though that is also harder because then you have to do it on the spot, which means there's more room for failure. Also, if you repurpose the sections by making it in reverse and changing the gameplay a little bit, like I said, if a jump pad is on one end, and when you run from one side, let's say you run from A to B, there's a jump pad, and when you run from B to A, there's no jump pad, it changes the gameplay, and also you can repurpose the same space, but flip it. It's the same thing with this. You know, they flipped Space Race. Obviously, this actually did change the gameplay pretty significantly. I think I might have played this, but I'm not sure. But this is a good idea. Now, this in concept is pretty easy. I don't know how easy it was for them to do it. It does take a lot of server power, because what they just have to do is copy, flip, paste. Now, the only thing that makes it difficult is changing the assets, probably, like the Elytra ring or whatever. But yeah, that's my idea. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Ace Race, because I haven't really seen many people bring it up, but I think this could be an issue, and I think this could be a solution. If MCC doesn't do it, I will give this to Block Wars. I probably should have given it to Block Wars. I'll probably just give it to Block Wars either way. Though actually, the reason Block Wars can't really do this is because we only have one builder who's working their butt off every single time. Or we don't have one builder, we have one active builder. Either way, shout out Dynamite Donut. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments below. and let me know what you want to see me talk about. I'm willing to talk about every single game and review it. Right, goodbye!